Every month, we're supposed to be getting new information regarding Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and last month was missed. Yes, we didn't get a single thing for the month of June, and it leads some people to believe, why the hell has Nacon gone dark? What is happening? Should we be worried? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over some speculation, give you guys my thoughts on the situation, and pretty much it. Let's go. So the first thing I want to mention is communication. Now, the first thing I want to say is that if Nacon has gone dark, I really do wish and hope that they would have communicated that to us, to at least say, you know, hey, we won't be able to make this month for so and so reason, but here's why, or something like that. But in the world of marketing, there's going to be some instances where a company's not going to say anything and just come through later, or they're just going to say something and then still come through later. It goes both ways, and as much as I would really love for them to communicate, I guess I could see this side why not to, but nonetheless, it still would have been nice and reassuring for fans, because don't forget, at the same time, I know a lot of you guys aren't too happy with the marketing of TDSC so far, and we want to see more. We want to see more than just monthly newsletters. I mean, if this game is supposed to launch at the end of this year, we need some more heavy-hitting marketing, especially with the likes of Motorsport, the Crew Motorfest, even Need for Speed Unbound and Forza Horizon 5 getting some pretty good updates recently. So I really do hope that if Nacon is going dark, they don't do it for that long. When they do come back, they have to show us out. They have to prove to us that they're worthy of having this TDUSC franchise published by them, and they're the ones who can market this game beyond capacity. So fingers crossed for that. But let me tell you guys why you should still be optimistic. Maybe they're taking a break for some other reason. Now let's take a look at that for a second. So you guys might remember, this is the article from Let's Echo that I showed you in a couple of videos ago, talking about TDUSC and how this is going to be 5 to 10 years of post-launch content, as well as going over the development time, saying that the game is finished and in the process of fine-tuning it. And this is from the Nacon CEO speaking as well, so this is a pretty legit guy. He also talks about even the development budget for the game. So with that being said, let's talk about a new article that has showed up. Now this, my friends, is one of the financial documents that was just posted on the 26th of June. Yes, literally, I think that's the same day as I posted that video. But this financial document came out, and we need to zoom in here and talk about it, because on page 80, which I'm gonna have to go to really quick, you guys can see this graphic here, which shows something very interesting, and I'll zoom in for you as well. And of course, we have the lineup for 2023-2024. Now you have TDUSC listed here in February 2024, March 2024. Now, don't worry, they haven't re-added PS4 or Xbox One. I assume it's just an old, it's kind of weird. It's like an old graphic. I assume that when they pasted this here, they didn't really care to change it. But so far, it's just PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Honestly, I don't think this game's coming out on Switch. If it does, it's not going to come until like a year after or something. I have no idea, but yeah, I'm not too worried. If anything, Switch is coming after the release of the main game. But February 2024, March 2024. So this kind of falls back on my last video where I told you guys that, you know what, if this game does get delayed again, it's not going to come out of this fiscal year. So this kind of proves it. I don't know which like document to believe first. Either way, I think it's safe to say late November to February is when this game is going to release. It doesn't make sense for March because they need some return on profits for this game. I mean, it's going to sell a lot for them and they're going to make some returns. So they probably want a month of sales for this game when it releases. So that leads me to believe this 4-month window of November to February is probably when we're going to be seeing the game. Again, we don't know if it's delayed or not. We have to assume it's 2023 still. But if they do delay it again, I don't think it's going to be that long. But let's move on to another piece of information. Now, I'm going to try and make this a short story, but this is really interesting. Now, France TV, like French TV, as you guys might remember, or even know for some of you, is like a French TV channel, you know, channel 1, France 2, France 3. And they also have a site where they post some exclusive things that they broadcast on TV for stuff that they break down into like exclusive news and stuff like that. Now, funny enough, on this France TV channel, they actually mentioned a company called Shine Digital, and they were stating that in this interview by France TV, they were talking about their company and they mentioned KT. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Now, in all honesty, I have no idea what they're saying, but shout out to Mr. Quiche. He is French and he did translate it for me. But basically, 8 minutes and onwards from this video, the CEO of Shine talks about TDUSC and that they're working for KT. But not a lot was said in this documentary, and there's also some lines mentioning TDUSC and Eden Lab, which also don't listen, it's not related to Eden Games, don't worry about that. But there is something called EdNet, which could mean network, framework, or something like that. I mean, this is KT's first open world racer game. Maybe it makes sense that they would also outsource some help for developing the network for the game. But then the CEO of Shine goes into the KT Paris office, and we can see some KT employees on Google Maps, some of them looking at the Together We Drive trailer, someone working on a livery for the Porsche, which was for WC Generations, I believe. But then it switches to a meeting, and in the meeting room of KT Paris, where the CEO of Shine says, for this project, it starts in July with Yanis and Stefan. And that's it for the KT team. So this is really interesting. Shine Digital, which if you look it up, they kind of do consulting. They also do certification for games, which is a very interesting thing to take in, and some other stuff that they do. So this kind of means that, you know, the CEO might not have been lying. This game could actually probably be in its polishing tuning stages. And this July, something's happening with Shine Digital and KT. Now, I don't want to hype you up too much because I don't want to say that this could be that they're gonna come out hard, but I don't want to hang on that big thread because I don't want a Tenerife 2.0 moment. But nonetheless, it is suspicious that Nacon haven't said anything or even posted anything about a letter. I mean, you're trying to market this game, you're gonna have to come hard. But another thing that we're going to have to cover is this. You guys might know SteamDB is basically where you see games and their depots and libraries and all that. But this is very interesting. Now, this is how you know the game's not canceled. But looking at this is basically the game getting updated and stuff like that. You know, there's different depots, different builds of the game, but there's some stuff that are very interesting. Now, if you do recall, the CEO did mention that the game was done, and that article was noted in May 25th. But if you scroll down, you can see a build called Milestones. Now, what does this mean? Now, I want to mention, usually when a publisher and a developer work together and they start building a game, they're going to set milestones, and these milestones would be certain build levels that they would achieve. So let's take a look at that for a second. Now up on the screen, I have something from a website talking about game development and the different stages of it. And this is really interesting. So basically, publishers would set milestones like this, for example. You have planning, pre-production, production, testing, pre-launch, launch, and then post-production. Now, with that being said, each milestone could be a build. So production, once they're done production, they get into testing. And then once they get into testing, they'll upload a pre-launch build. And this is really interesting because it does say alpha/beta releases, marketing hype, gaming conventions, and independent advertising. Now, with that being said, again, we did skip the month of June. And as much as we love the newsletters, they're not going to cut it up until launch. You can't just give us newsletters to market the game and expect it to be marketed well. You have to come way harder than a bunch of words and screenshots. Not to downplay the newsletters, but you do have to come a lot harder than that if you want to make an open world racing game compete with the likes of the Crew Motorfest, 4005, Need for Speed Unbound, and so much more. But anyway, this build being updated last month could possibly lead me to believe that they've probably just hit the beta stage of the game, and now once that's approved, they're gonna move on to, of course, the closed beta test for the game. Again, don't get your hopes up, guys. This is just speculation, and as much as I am annoyed that Nacon hasn't said anything, and I really do hope they say something sooner rather than later, it is sus that they haven't said anything, and I can only assume that the greater good is about to come soon for the game. And if it doesn't, honestly, so help me. Another thing that you probably want to see on SteamDB is this: Project Mercury for beta testing. Kind of interesting, no idea what this is, but 16 days ago, they added a name for this. Now, Project Mercury, I assume, is similar to how Need for Speed Unbound was Project Excalibur, I think, or Ubisoft TCM was called Project Orlando until they turned it into an actual game. This is possibly going to be the same name following, or it could actually mean a beta for this game is coming soon. I mean, it does say Steam key activation. Again, I don't want to get your hopes up, but hopefully this means that something good is coming from Nacon. I really hope they say something before next weekend, because other than that, I think this isn't really good news. I would be very surprised though if this game still launches outside of the fiscal year. I think it has to launch this fiscal year. I don't think this game is in development hell, guys, because don't forget, no matter what, marketing or not, the game is still getting developed. Kiloton only developed the game. Nacon are the ones that market it. And I should probably also show you guys this, because not a lot of you are even in the TDU Discord, the official one. So I'll link that down below if you want to go ahead and join. But the community manager of the game did say in the month of May, man, if you could imagine what's coming soon. Again, that is kind of sus, and I do hope that, obviously, I mean, May 26th is a while ago, yes. I do hope that that is what he meant. They're gonna miss June and come with something crazy. I only hope. But there's also Kiloton tweeting something saying that something is supposed to happen soon for TDUSA News. So again, there are reasons to be optimistic. It's not fair to say that this is copium. There are, to be fair, reasons that kind of make you want to believe that, hey, maybe this is for the greater good, but no matter what, they have to come back good. But I really do hope that Nacon do have a very good reason for missing this month and letting down fans, because again, at the end of the day, it's not going to look good in the fact that you missed a newsletter. I mean, you can see on Reddit, you can see on Discord, you can see on Twitter, people aren't really that happy. But Nacon, you know what you have to do. I really do hope you step it up, and at least this silence is probably going to be the last one we ever get. I don't have to see this again, because it's sad to see the marketing of TDC not being on par, but fingers crossed this is just a change for the better. Let me know your thoughts though in the comment section below, guys. You already know I'm still gonna remain optimistic. I really do hope within the next 2 weeks they say something, because Nacon Connect usually is announced in the first weeks of June, and then it happens next week, actually on July 6th or July 7th. We have not heard anything yet, so hey, the first weeks of July, I hope we hear something. Maybe Nacon Connect is actually going to happen in August, or maybe we get 2 newsletters this month to make up for it. I don't know. Please, Nacon, just show out. We have to see you do better. You guys already know what it is. I'm Alex7, and I'll see you in another video. I'm out, guys. Peace.